Hello everyone. I hope all of you are in your pink of health. Today we are going to hear a beautiful story about Isaac. And do you know who Isaac is? Isaac is the son of Abraham. And the title of today's story is Isaac Gets a Good Wife. Now you'll be excited to hear about this story, right? Now, can you see a woman in this picture? Her name is Rebecca, and the man she is coming to meet is Isaac. She is going to become his wife. And how did all this happen? Are you all ready to hear to the story? Well, one fine day, Isaac's father Abraham thought about getting his son married to a beautiful girl. But Abraham wanted to get a good wife for his son from his land of Haran. He didn't want Isaac to marry one of the women in Canaan. Why? Because those people worship false gods. So one day, Abraham called his servant and said, "I want you to go back to where my relatives live, in Haran, and get a wife for my son Isaac." Right away, Abraham's servant took 10 animals and made the long trip to Haran. When he was about to near to the place where Abraham's relatives were living, he stopped at a well. Now children, it was late in the afternoon, the time when the women of the city would come to get water from the well. So Abraham's servant said a short prayer to God. He whispered, "May the woman that gets water for me and the camels be the one that you choose to be the wife of Isaac." As soon as he finished the prayer, Rebecca came along to get some water. When the servant asked her for a drink, she gave him one. Then she went on and got enough water for all the thirsty camels. That was hard work, my children, because camels drink lots and lots of water. When Rebecca finished doing this, Abraham's servant was pleased, and he asked her the name of her father. He also asked if he could stay overnight at her home. She replied, "My father is Bethuel, and there is enough room for you to stay with us." Abraham's servant knew Bethuel. Bethuel was the son of Abraham's brother Nahor. So he knelt down and thanked God for leading him to Abraham's relatives. That night, Abraham's servant met Bethuel and his brother Laban, told him why he came to meet him. After hearing to the story, they both agreed that Rebecca could go with him and marry Isaac. Now what do you think Rebecca replied? When she was asked, she said, yes, she is willing to go with. So, the very next day, they got on the camel and began a long trip to Canaan. Now children, when they arrived, it was evening time. Rebecca saw a man walking in the field. It was Isaac. Isaac was there in the field to meditate. When he was looking here and there, Isaac noticed a woman coming near. He was glad to see Rebecca because his mother Sarah had died just 3 years before, and he was still sad about this. But now, after seeing Rebecca, Isaac came to love her very much, and thereafter he was happy again. Children, how did you like today's story? I hope all of you have enjoyed the story. Now, what can we learn from today's story? In today's story, we can learn that Abraham chose a wife for his son to have qualities that could meet God's principles. He didn't want his son to be married to a girl who worshipped false god. In Proverbs, it's written, "She prepares herself for hard work and she strengthens her arms." So, a wife should always be there to support her husband. And Rebecca was the choicest blessing for Isaac. In a marriage arrangement, God always advises us to select fellowship from believers and not from unbelievers. If we marry an unbeliever, we may have a tough time to share the life and principles of God. Hence, my dear children, when your parents select a good wife for you, they may be keeping all this in mind and selecting a good wife. Now, I hope all of you enjoyed the story. I'll be coming with a beautiful story next time. Until then, my sweet little children, do stay safe and be healthy. Your loving Benzie Auntie bidding goodbye. Take care.